Hey y'all, it's Venetian, winner of season 1 of Mixed Shakers,
And I'm Ani So Exotic.
and welcome back to the Shakedown. So we are now into week 2. Shall we recap a little bit of week 1? We
Yes.
had Daya as a winner,
Yes, Turkish Delight went home, sadly.
and that was it.
Yeah.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Period. All right.
So week 2, this week was girl groups, and the theme for the runway was animal print.
This is crazy because they had to be paired up and do things with another partner within 1 week. So it wasn't on themselves, it was on 2 of them.
Yeah.
Or 3 for one group. I'm so mad we didn't get this in our season because we would have tore up famously.
Yeah, we really would have.
We're both K-pop girlies, so we
Yeah.
know a thing or two about girl groups.
Literally,
But
it is crazy.
I think in my season, I would have chosen either Chris Rose or I don't know who I would have chosen.
I think I would have chosen Jin. Me and
Jin.
Jin get along well, and I feel like we would have done something really, really funny.
I would say going into this week, I had high hopes and
Yeah.
my hopes were met.
Yeah, totally. My hopes were like over exceeded.
Yeah. Your
Exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was really good.
And then this week was the first week where they had a runway. First on the runway, we had Botox. So Botox, pictured here, was wearing like a Dalmatians-inspired
Yes,
costume.
Cruella or like
Cruella,
Cruello.
yeah. They made it themselves, which is honestly super gaggy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, period.
Yeah, Botox is one
All
of the...
the Richard performers are so good at looks.
There's a lot of seamstress on this season. I liked the gender bend aspect on it.
Me too.
I mean, each week I have such high expectations for my Richmond girlies because we come from such a creative spot.
That's so fast.
So
Richmond is the most creative.
especially with Botox being in the bottom last week, it was very exciting to see them back on their step. But I think that Detective Fierce actually got a chance to talk to Botox beforehand to see how he was feeling going into this. So let's go over to her. Hey y'all, this is Detective Fierce, aka Venetian, winner of season 1 of Mixed Shakers, and I'm here with
Botox.
Botox. Going into week 2, you were in the bottom last week, but now you're with a partner. Do you feel like more pressure is on you since you kind of were in the bottom last week, or do you feel like you can really carry it this week?
To me, I think I can carry it. I don't feel any pressure at all. Daya and I work so well together. It was such an easy pair up that I've got no stress.
You say it was an easy pair up. Famously, in the least bad drag performer of this particular group, season 3, you were paired together in a girl group challenge as well. So this is your second time doing this. Do you feel like you have an advantage going forward?
Oh, absolutely. We work together really well. We bounce off each other really well. I think we had only the advantage going into this.
Do you think you could take the win?
Maybe. I like to think so.
Let's find out.
Or I'll go home.
Ooh.
50-50 shot.
Oh my god, back to you. Thanks, Detective Fierce. So, I mean, we'll have to see how they do in that performance.
Yes.
All right. And as far as rating, I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm gonna give it an 8 too.
I
it was
loved
really
it,
good.
but, you know, you could have been wearing gold. No kidding. I don't know. There's always one thing, but I loved it. I thought it was amazing. These 10s, we're saving these 10s for the shoots, you know, tutor booter shoot,
Yeah,
that kind of
literally.
vibes. All right, next up, we had Diabetes, and she was in this handmade, hand rhinestone, Schiaparelli-inspired gown like Kylie Jenner. And
Holy shit. I'm gonna insert a picture of my face when she walked the runway because I was so gagged. I was like, I need to record this for evidence.
I was so proud of her. Famously, she asked me to help rhinestone last minute, and I said no because she made me do that last week, and I hated it. But no, I'm so proud of her. The embellishments, everything to the gloves, to the handstone shoes, everything was just on
Groundbreaking.
point.
So good.
She nailed it on the head for me.
Yeah.
I honestly loved it so much. I mean, like when the category is animal print, if you're not coming out as the animal, you need to be. Well, she kind of did. The
Yeah.
animal. So she gagged
She
me.
had the head.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm gonna
How's
give
her
it.
head?
I haven't had any complaints. I'm gonna give it
Yeah,
a 10.
Yeah, I give that
No,
a
she gave
10
that
too.
up.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
I like
It's
that.
so
Kind of
good.
gagged me. Next up, we had Tabitha Christie. So she was giving very much Medusa
Yes, it was really
serpent
cool.
vibes. My favorite part was the hair, how it like
Yes.
untwisted. That was kind of pussy.
It was
you know.
really cool.
You got to think about how to step outside the box in
Yeah.
every runway, and she really did that for me.
She definitely did. I really like how the hair was like, I don't know if it was with wires
Yeah.
or what, but it looked so cool because she could just move it and it would stay where she moved it. So I don't know. That was also really groundbreaking for me. The runways this week were really good. I feel
Yeah.
like. This week was just so good.
The only thing for me is I wish it was like a little bit, a tiny bit more polished. But again, I think she also handmade this outfit.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very difficult. But again, we also have so many powerhouses in this.
For
So it's
sure.
kind of like every week you got to go guns blazing. But,
yeah.
you know, we'll talk about our placement later. So obviously it was a great outfit. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7.5. I think it was super, super pussy.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I really liked it. I thought it was like very creative, or like
Yes.
I don't know, groundbreaking, like something I never would have expected to see, and so I love that aspect of it.
T-boots. Next up, we had Bombshell Monroe. She came out as like this cheetah leopard print kind of
She
thing.
had this leopard print dress, and she had leopard print dyed hair.
That's
which
what
I
got
thought
me was the
sickening.
hair. She had me hold her tequila lemon drop. I was just like, work diva. I thought it was very cute. I would have loved more of a concept per se in the
Yeah.
outfit. But overall, I thought it was the way she played up was really nice. It was
Yeah.
very Bombshell takes on animal print.
Yes,
It
I
wasn't,
agree.
it was on brand for her, and I really loved that. The dress was super well fitted, and they were
She looked
rhinestones.
thick.
I clocked the rhinestones.
Yeah, there were
okay?
many rhinestones.
So I thought it was very beautiful. Again, concepts I think are a big thing as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it as well. I liked it.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like there's like a big difference in competitions, because you kind of have to have that aspect of like taking it outside the box versus just like looking 100% of like what you might be expected to look like.
Yeah.
I feel like Bombshell looked like perfect into what we expected her to look like, but maybe there wasn't as much of a concept as some of the other people in the like other runways, which may have put them at a.
I will say I did like her
Advantage.
makeup though. She had like
Her
a
makeup
little
looks
cat
sickening,
nose.
yes.
Yeah, so she did get that
Looks so
on the
cute.
point for me. I'm gonna give it a 7 as well.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I really, really liked the hair.
I'm gonna be the bad cop, okay? Next up we have Tiramisu.
Ooh.
Famously the crowd's favorite so far in this
Yeah.
season. Everyone that I've talked to has been crazy over Tiara, so she has a lot of high expectations going into this. So Tiara had this pink mod 60s like leopard print style dress that she made herself. Surprise. Oh my god. How many people sewed this season? Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, right?
I loved it because when you think of animal print, you want to go straight to the neutral tones, and she stepped out of the box and really chose this avant-garde color and style,
Yeah.
and the hair. It was all there for me.
Yeah.
She constantly amazes me. So, and
Same.
especially being snubbed of the top last week, she had to go in guns blazing.
Yeah.
And oh my God, do you hear that? Detective Fierce is calling. Yes. Let's go over to Detective Fierce and see what she has to say. Detective Fierce here, and I'm joined with,
Secret Agent McGillicuddy,
AKA.
Tiara Masusadora.
Now, Tiara, going into week 2, you famously were snubbed of a top 3 last week. How are you feeling about that?
No comment.
With that being said, do you think you have what it takes this week to really win over the audience and get into the top 3?
I would like to think that I've already won over the audience, and I'm top 3 in my spirit every night.
Well, this week, it's not only yourself, though. You're now with a partner. Do you feel like you and your partner are well prepared enough to really secure that top spot and win this week?
I think that myself and my partners have done something really exciting and really funny and really cool that showcases all 3 of us very well. That's how I feel.
You heard it here, folks, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Detective Fierce.
Period. Well, famously, she was in that outfit in that video. She just looks beautiful up close.
She looks so
The makeup
good.
was matching. I loved it. It was very... Tiara loves to take an alternative route when it comes to fashion.
Yeah.
She took a different silhouette, and I really, really love that about
Yeah.
her.
It was so cute.
That being said, I'm going to give her a 9.
I really liked it too. I'm gonna give her a 9 as well. I think that she was the only one who didn't do it like an animal print in
Neutral
a
tones.
like real
Yeah.
color, like
Yeah,
a real
yeah.
animal color. Like
Yeah.
no real animal is pink. Flamingos, but other animals like a tiger is never pink.
No real animals are pink. So I love that, though.
A 9.
Yeah. Next up, we have Nubia Love Jackson.
I didn't understand this one, but it's because we're young, I think.
So she had like a Chris Tucker reference in her outfit.
Who is that?
Very much a gender bend outfit. It's, the person from the movie.
Yeah?
Since you're doing a gender bend and a reference to a movie with male drag, I think Botox is a great example of how you have to really just drag it up.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great reference, but I would have loved to see more of a concept per se, you know, dripping in that fabric, or, you know, they had a staff, like a walking stick, rhinestone that, you know, it's very much like these people are going guns blazing, and if you're not having your balls to the wall, we'll talk about the results later. But overall, I think it was a great choice to, you know, step outside your box. I will applaud Nubia on that. A great step outside the box. And I just would have liked to see a little bit more per se.
Yeah, same. I thought she looked like the guy from Tiger King, or that's who I thought she was at first. But she had leopard print, so then I was like, it can't be Tiger King.
And
but I liked it. I liked it, I guess.
Sadly, I am going to have to give it.
Yeah.
A 6. But no, like again, this is a hard competition.
Everyone ate like way too hard.
Next up, we had Frida Poussey, and she was in this beautiful jungle print. So it was a mix of like leaves and also leopard print, like cheetah print kind of vibes. I think it was also very on brand for Frida.
Yeah, it was.
I love how pageant she is in her drag, because a lot of people want to be artsy fartsy, and that's totally tea. But I also love seeing that little pageant style come through. I think what threw me off though were like the chunky bracelets. There were like 6 of them.
I did not see those.
Oh.
Thank God. I think that would have thrown me off as well.
I was up close. They were just, I feel like it could have been a little bit more refined, but I still loved the gown.
My favorite thing about it was she had the feathers that were like floating. I don't know if you saw that. That's what I think I was looking at.
There's one on the ground
chunky.
right here.
But they looked so like, they look cunt. I don't know why. They just like were floating up there. They looked really good.
Adding dimension to your garments is so important. So I think that
3D.
having, again, jewelry does count, yes. I just wish it was like, you know, baby black jewelry, because it's like more jungle aesthetic versus like AB crystals per se. But overall, I think she did a good job of infusing more of a jungle aesthetic than just animal print, which I love that. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, me too.
But Miss Mamas is here to fight, and we'll talk more about that later.
We will.
Next up, we had Miss Serotonin, and she had this, I want to say like, was it 60s Madonna mix of like these like cone boobs,
The cone bra, But
leopard
they had
print,
leopard print on the cones.
and like leopard and black. Famously, as you can see here, I love that pairing. That's what like my drag started on. So I think it was a safe
That's
option.
A bolt?
We don't talk about her. This is honestly one of my first garments I've ever owned. But I think it was a safe option, but she went outside the box with her silhouette. So I really enjoyed having that difference between just, you know, a neutral black and leopard print, but then having that Madonna-esque style cone, and then the skirt with the hat. I loved it, honestly.
I liked it.
Sarah, going into this competition, I was most excited to see what Sarah brought with her runways. And so far, I've been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I liked it. I feel like I was saying earlier with Bombshell, like the concept versus like just looking like really good. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking to me, but I thought it was really polished, it was really clean, and it looked really good. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5.
Yeah, me too.
Like teetering on 8. I just like, again, amazing silhouette. Maybe if you did like pink cheetah print.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
something more
but
explosive.
I am excited to see what she does going forward, because I have faith in her runways.
Me too.
Last but not least,
Ooh.
girl. So last on the runway was Trev Her. And famously, she was, I think, like second or third, like in the top last week.
Yeah.
But snubbed, like right shy of a win. So this was her week to like really prove that she has what it takes to win. And she came out in this like what is that, serpent, but like that
snake skin,
but like what's that, the light one, you know? Not a python.
Anaconda.
Kind of. Like it was a very light skinned snake.
Rattlesnake.
Which I love though, because mostly snakes are like more green and have that darker tone, but she had a very light toned snake skin, and I loved that fabric on her. And then she had the mask reveal, and
that was cunty.
I will say modeling is so important in this competition, and she really nailed that modeling.
She definitely did.
One of the things with Desiree as a judge, she told me when I did Slay Them, modeling matters, and tonight she really modeled the fuck out of that gown.
Yeah, she totally did.
Loved it. The cunty bob.
Oh my god, yes.
A cunty black bob.
The makeup too.
Yeah.
Which worked for later too, but I really liked how it was like the little slit like in her eye, because that's very snaky to me. Very like, you know, snakes have this skinny eyes. So it's like
I would have loved like a tiny bit of like contrasting colors, because it was like that light green on silver. I mean, it was like I can't say what I'm missing, but I just feel like for me, I'm gonna have to give it like a 9.5. It was so close, but like I was gagged. Like she looked so
I was so
stunning
gagged.
in that.
The only reason I'm not gonna give it a 10 is because Daya went on the runway this week and actually like blew me the fuck away out of my seat to France.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and that's why I give it a 9.
Are you happy to be in Paris?
No, it was very tough on this competition. I say like my top were obviously Daya and Trevor, but when you have Daya who handmade that entire costume and 3D printed that thing and then hand rhinestoned it, not to discredit, you know, having designers, but like we have 1 week to do all these things, you know? So that's what gagged me was just like the construction of it all, but Trevor slayed that runway for me. I loved it.
So let's get started with the performances.
So the first duet we had was Botox and Diabetes, and I was so excited to see them because famously they were last week's winner and bottom.
Yes.
So going forth, I was gagged, and they did I think it was like a musical, like American Express. I was trying to like pick up lyrics, but it was very much giving like husband-wife duo action, and I thought the concept was good. You know, it was very much giving like boy-girl, which is really easy for us to understand. And although we didn't know where it might have been from, they did a good job on playing off of the fact that it was very much husband and wife dynamic duo. And I really did enjoy that. Their costumes matched.
Yes.
And they had choreography. I would have loved a little bit more production in a sense. They did have a couple props. The tequila, which I did enjoy, but I feel like at one point, Botox holding the tequila for too long was kind of like, okay. There were like so many times where I was like, oh, he's going to drink it. Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to drink it. Oh, he didn't. And he did eventually, but.
Yeah.
I do think, though, it could have been cleaner, but the concept was very much there, and I very much did enjoy it. So I'm going to give it an 8.
I agree with everything Venetian said. I definitely feel like it wasn't the worst this week. It wasn't the best this week, but objectively, it was a really good performance.
Yeah.
Just everyone ate so hard.
It was very well put together.
Yeah.
So it was, I think they had a very strong week, especially with runways going forward. So I think they had a great week for Bo and Daya. This is like Dancing with the Stars. It's like Carrie Ann and Abba. 9, you know. Next up, we had Dabitha, Bombshell, and Tiara. So since there was an uneven number, there were 3 people in this group. And they did a wicked number, but with the twist of like, the extra like, sister you don't want there, like your baby sister you have to tag along, or like that third roommate. And I think their branding was very good. It was so very clear that Dabitha was green, she was Alphaba.
Yeah.
Tiara was in all pink, she was Glinda. And then Bombshell was in this like what's that print called?
Gingham.
Yeah, gingham print. Very much picnic. So it was giving Dorothy, which just makes total sense because the whole thing is supposed to be between Glinda and Elphaba, and then Dorothy's just there like, hey, y'all. So that was a very good idea, especially when they had this original concept and they were just had another third person on them. So I think that it was a funny twist on like kind of what SNL does, you know? They take a good concept and make it very stupid, and that was a great job. In drag, you want to be stupid.
Oh, it was so good. Like that one was definitely like, I told all of them this afterwards, that was a life-changing number for me and my drag, because that was like so good. Obsessed.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, I will say that the audio clips where Bombshell was speaking, they were a little bit hard to hear.
Yeah.
But again, you're just taking sound bites from like those SNL clips.
Yeah.
But I think the concept was there. It was hard at first for me, but like once I was in, I was in. You know, I thought it was very, very, very funny. I thought the choreography between Tiara and Dabitha was very good, and how they kind of like purposefully like ignored Bombshell because like that was the concept. So I really enjoyed that though. Like an 8.5, close to 9. I would have loved like a little bit more inclusion in Bombshell. Maybe like Bombshell snaps, you know, at the very end. She's sick of being left out, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, the concept I thought was great.
I'm gonna give it a 9 because even though it was like such a good performance to me, like literally so good to me, I do agree with the parts that like it could have been a little bit tweaked since it's in a competition sense. If I was just seeing that at like a regular drag show, bitch, I would have tipped my entire like wallet, bank account, credit history, like everything. That was so good for me. But like I understand like compared to other people, parts that they could have altered to make it a little bit more competition friendly. So I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, I mean, I will say again, they had 1 week to do this and choreograph and meet up and do, like conceptualize everything.
Yeah.
So definitely one of the tops of the night, I will say.
For
so
sure,
they did
for sure.
phenomenal.
They did great.
Unusually and exceedingly peculiar and altogether quite impossible to describe. Blonde.
All right. Next up, we had Nubia and Frida Pusey, and they did the famous Garfunkel and Oates, F me in the ass because I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. I think that this is a queer staple.
It is,
every
for
single gay
sure.
person in this room knew every single word.
Except Nubia.
I didn't say anything. Well, she knew it too. I think it was very, like, Nubia knew it, like, we all saw it. We can't sugarcoat this. We all saw it. You know, even the watermelon, this is that. I feel like it wasn't even watermeloning. But Frida knew every word, and Frida ate that up. And they came out in these, like, priest outfits
Yes.
almost, very much giving, like, holy. So I did like the costuming. It was very, very demure, very mindful. I would have loved a little bit more of, like, a little, like, twist at the end. They did the costume
Yeah.
reveal. But if they would have reeled straight into lingerie
Yeah.
rather than just schoolgirl outfits, I feel like that would have been, like, even
Even
crazier.
better,
Or maybe
yeah.
a double reveal. Lingerie underneath the schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah.
Again, this is a competition. You have to go crazy.
You
So I feel
do.
like it was a great concept. And I feel like there was just certain elements that were lacking.
Yeah.
Lip syncing, and then maybe, you know, I feel like there was a disconnect between the two. You
Yes,
know?
definitely.
Dabitha and Tiara and Bombshell were all, like, very much on the same wavelength.
Yes, and
but I
it
feel
was
like with this
great.
one, it was kind of like a disconnect
Yeah,
in
for
my
sure.
mind. With that being said, I'm gonna have to give it a 6, only because there was just so much, like, more polish. I feel like it got gone into it.
I'm gonna give it a 6 as well. I feel like many things could have been better, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great concept.
So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and fuck me in the ass 'cause I love Jesus.
And last but not least, we had Sarah Tonin and Trevor, and they did this Dance Revolution, very black and white, yes and no kind of vibe, which I honestly love. When you struggle to share a common ground for a concept,
Yeah.
having one where it quite literally is black and white is still a concept.
Yeah, for sure.
So they did this Dance Revolution. She's doing all these fun little bubblegum songs, and then Trevor's doing these, like, hardcore metal songs.
Emo.
And then they come together at the very end to do Every Time We Touch by Cascada. And that is a huge drag risk. I don't even dare to do that song, and I'm bucking. So I mean, we all love the song, so it was a huge risk. And I think
Yeah.
it played off very, very well. They had the pads on the grounds. They were hitting their steps in unison.
Yes.
I loved it.
It was amazing.
I was screaming. There were moves that they had to hit, and they hit it. So I'm going to give it a 10.
I was creaming. I was screaming, crying, and throwing up because this was so cute to me because I love, like, that Disney Channel little vibe of it
Yeah.
being like, oh, like, we're enemies, like, we don't like each other's vibes. But then at the end, we're gonna be like besties and we're gonna do it and we're gonna, like, hug and, like, yeah. I love that. I love that. It was so cute, and everybody in the number was just, like, on the same wavelength, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, it was a really, really well done number. I definitely will give it a 10 as well.
Yeah, their attitudes were absolutely there. I mean,
Yes.
they were acting as if this was a game, and they had the attitude, they had the pep in their step, and I really felt it with them. You know,
Yeah.
they were having so much fun, so I was having
Yes,
so much
exactly.
fun. That was, like, really what got me.
And another thing is every time that they weren't necessarily in the focus, because, like, when they were doing a bubblegum pop song, when Trevor was in the back, Trevor was still acting and, like, engaged in the scene, like, being like, this bubblegum pop sucks. But, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But, like, I love that they were, like, engaged the whole time. It didn't break the, like, illusion of disbelief or whatever. Like, we were in the number the whole time.
Very
So.
much that. I loved it. Yeah.
Player 2, choose your song. Ready, set, begin.
with that being said, let's get into our placements. So, the people who were safe were Diabetes, Botox, Sarah, and Bombshell. Now, for Daya, she came off a win.
Yeah.
And that can be rough when you're already on the highest thing and you're just going down. And I think Detective Fierce had a clip with her. Let's see what she has to say. Hey y'all, I'm Detective Fierce and I'm here with Diabetes. Now Daya, you were the winner of...
Hello.
You were the winner of last week's challenge, but this week you were safe. How are you feeling going into week 2 with a little bit of a downward slope? Is that down on you, or are you feeling just as strong?
I'm feeling just as strong, if not invigorated. I feel like I had a really strong week this week because I served quite a cunty runway, if I do say so myself.
Insert photo here.
And then our performance was also good and clean. And I put forth my best foot. I'll just have to wait to see the judges' critiques, and that'll decide whether or not I'm feeling down in comparison to my placement as well. But I'm very happy, very grateful to still be moving forward in this competition. But if anything, I'm feeling rip-roaring ready to go.
And that's the way to be. And famously, next week is a roast. Are you feeling very prepared? You can take back your top spot? How are you feeling?
Usually I'm a bottom, but I'm ready to get back on top.
You heard it here, folks. Daya's in her top era. Find out next week at Shakers. Period, Detective Fierce. We'll just have to see what happens next week with Daya. I'm rooting for her. I think she's going to do great. Safe is still good. I will say that.
Yes.
So.
Safe is still, you're in the competition.
Yes. So that team was safe. Sarah was safe. And Bombshell was safe. So people from groups whom their partners were not in.
Yeah.
So let's see where they landed. In the top, we had Trevor, Tiara Masusadora, and Dabatha. I
Agree.
agree
You-
mostly.
Really?
Yes. I would have swapped out one person as every week, but again, I'm not a judge. Woo!
Who?
And then our winner this week was, drumroll please, Trevor! Actual confetti this time. Woo! Children applause, you know. I think she absolutely earned her win. Not even deserved it, earned it. I think down to the outfit was very polished, well put together. She had a great concept, and with her number, she was in character every second of that clip. And I just felt it. I think that she really put her heart into this week, and I can't wait to see what she does weeks going forward, because that's what you need. Just have that upward slope, constantly putting your best foot forward.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very proud of her this week.
She's definitely come guns blazing in this competition. Top, and then now a win. She definitely has the best score so far.
Yes.
So.
And that means that Tiara and Dabatha were safe. High safe, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the bottom this week, we had Nubia and Farida. I think that's deserving in the sense that, you know, the core of this challenge is that performance, and that's where they lacked.
Yeah.
So I think that,
I agree.
yeah. All right. And their bottom 2 lip sync song was Break Free by Ariana Grande. This is a song
This is a song.
sung by an artist to which people perform to. I perform this song all the time. So I was on the edge of my seat
Yeah.
to see what they would do. And I'm just gonna turn around now.
I didn't know Frida could do a split, so I was pleasantly surprised.
No, I thought that they were, yeah, no. Okay, you take over.
I feel like this lip sync could have been a little bit more like.
It felt like RuPaul's gag race, where the person who pulled out the most gags won.
Oh yeah.
I wish they kind of like more like lip sync and like really felt it.
Yes.
Because for me, I become Ariana Grande.
That's the word that I was looking for. They didn't feel it. Like,
They didn't embody-
Neither of
they
them were
didn't embody,
embodying the
yeah.
song at all.
Frida Pusey pulled out whipped cream that got all over the stage.
Yes.
It was homemade. That's what the can said. No, I thought it was like homemade whipped cream. You know, taste homemade. Or it said taste homemade. But no, I felt like it was a little crazy on the stage. But alas, one person did stay and one person did go home, and that was
Frida stayed.
yeah.
And Nubia went home.
Frida stayed and Nubia went home.
Took me a second.
I kind of agree. Given that this week, you know, Frida seemed a little bit more prepared than Nubia, and Frida held her ground in the lip sync, which is how you stay. So I feel like
Yeah.
that was the correct decision, in my opinion. But who am I to say anything about
I
this?
agree as well.
But yeah, so our winner this week was Trevor. The person who went home was Nubia.
Send your love to Nubia.
Send all your love to Nubia.
Your Nubia love. Jackson.
So she is actually going to be October 17th at Trade, competing in the 4 as a resident, 4 person.
Oh.
So if you want to see if anyone can snatch her title and see if she'll win a lip sync, come check it out. I famously am challenging one of them, so I might challenge Nubia, and I'll eat my words. Who knows? So yeah, go support her. Go follow her on Instagram. This is a hard competition. They had to prepare for this with months to come, so this is not an easy thing to do. So give all your love. We love you, Nubia. Mwah. And with that being said, we have 6 weeks left.
Yes.
All right, so next week
is the roast.
Girl.
I'm very excited. The roast last year was really funny.
I famously was deemed by Every to have the best joke, so I can't wait to see what the second best joke is for the season. So next week is the roast, and I don't have the runway theme.
I don't know either.
But there will be a runway. And let's just see what happens. Oh my god. Well, that's week 2. I have been Venetian.
And I'm Ani So Exotic.
And this has been The Shakedown.